see the stand here, so it's literally just the console. And I mean, right from the get-go, I was a little bit sketched out by this purchase
Right.
because the description had some, just looked a little bit sketchy, it didn't look right, something about it was it was the cheapest one that worked. There were some cheaper PS5s, but they had issues. This one supposedly completely works. But here is the console, and top looks pretty nice. I don't see like really any scratches or scuffs. Nothing crazy to write home about.
No.
Here is what's going to tell us how much this PS5 has been used, because if there's a lot of scratches here, it's probably been used a lot. Honestly, looking at these front two ports, I'm not sure if you can see. There we go. So I think you got some reflection there, but I don't see like really any scratches around the front two ports. So that tells me this PS5 may not have actually been used very much. And then going to the top, also just actually don't see that many scratches, so that's a good sign. So looking over the back, it actually looks pretty good as well. The one thing I usually look at on a console, just in general, is the HDMI port. If you see a bunch of scratches there, you know it's been used a good bit. I see like a couple scratches, but nothing crazy. So I don't know. Maybe this console hasn't been used much. Maybe that's also a bit sketchy because maybe it was a return that didn't work. I don't know. But yeah, no stand. Overall, physically, console looks pretty good, which is actually surprising based on that box we just got. But let's take a look at the controller now. Alright, so now for the DualShock 5 controller, and this is a bit sketchy to me. The listing said it was in very good condition, 93% out of 100, which I'll show you. I don't think it's a very good condition, and it's in a bubble mailer, which is not great. You know, if I ship out controllers, I always ship them in a box, because you can really mess up the analog sticks, buttons if you ship it in a bubble mailer, but we'll see what comes out of here. So this is funny. They used the free USPS packaging and put it inside larger non-free packaging, so they basically used the free stuff for the wrong service. A little bit dirty when people do that, but whatever. Alright, and then in here, we have another bubble mailer. Alright guys, so we have bubble mailer Inception. We got one bubble mailer, 2, 3, and I think we're finally down to the controller now. Alright, here it is. Here's the controller, and there's something else in here. We have a random pawn shop sticker. Alright, so here's the controller, and as you can see, this thing is not great. So I saw the pictures in the listing, and they did look like this. I knew it wasn't going to be in great condition, but I just thought it was funny that the description said it was in very good condition. Obviously, we're missing an entire thumbstick grip right here. This one is partially torn off. The entire thing just looks well loved, well used. It just looks like it's been worn down so much on the front and back. Like there's dirt on the sides. All the buttons seem to click, so from that standpoint, it seems to work. Actually, that mute button doesn't really click. It feels very sticky, so I don't have high hopes for this controller. Oh, it is flashing, it is turning on, so it at least has power, but yeah, I don't have high hopes for this controller, honestly. So our next step is to plug in the PS5 console and the controller, see if they work. I'm a bit skeptical, but I guess we'll find out. So now we're connected up. My PS5 controller is connected to the PS5. PS5 is on. The screen looks good so far. Let's go ahead and connect to Wi-Fi. I see my 2G Wi-Fi, but I don't see 5G. There it is. Alright, so we'll connect to my 5G Wi-Fi, and we'll see if it works. I'm here to be connected up to the internet. Let's go ahead and finish this up. And HDR, don't care about that right now. And apparently I can go ahead and insert a game disc to see if that works. So I guess I'll go ahead and do that. So I have Resident Evil Village for the PS5. I'll go ahead and put that in. Make sure it works. Alright, disc is in. Let's finish the setup now. Alright, so I booted up all the way. So far, so good. There's a few things I want to test, obviously. So first, let's go to settings, and let's check out our speeds here. There is a chance that, you know, the network card is messed up. I bought a refurbished PS5 from eBay about a year ago, and it actually had a bad GPU, which is kind of crazy to figure out, but I'll throw that link on the screen if you want to go check that video out. That was really weird. Yeah, so this seems to be about right for Wi-Fi. So the next thing I want to do while this disc is installing is I actually want to download Astro's Playroom. This game is great for testing out all the controls in the controller, making sure the screen looks good. This is actually the game where I figured out the other PS5 had a bad GPU, so this is a great game to try. Astro's Playroom is installed, so we're booting it up now. We're going to play it a bit, test out these controls, and make sure the PS5 is performing as it should. Alright, so this left analog stick is the one I'm most concerned about, considering it's missing the thumb grip completely. But it appears to work. We can jump, fly, can punch this tree, we can. The button was actually a little bit sticky there. I do want to check out this mute button, because that was the one that does work. Dead water plants feed beans. It's just very sticky, like it doesn't click like it should. A bit odd. Home button works. Let's see what else we got here. Square works. I don't think I can use triangle or circle on this page. I am concerned about the adaptive triggers. Those are the ones that seem to go out most easily. So let's go ahead and go to It's that PS1 area over there. We'll go ahead and place them in the claw machine and try out our triggers and see if they work. So hop on this thing. If you're not familiar with this game, you can actually, so first of all, I can use my motion right here to move this guy around, which appears to be working. Now if I pull the left trigger, I can pull this lever down, so it kind of uses the adaptive triggers here. Okay, that one seems to be good. And then I use the right one to squeeze it. Alright, seems to be good as well. Let's try it out again. Pull down the left trigger again, so it kind of stops right there, and then boom. Always cool to do. Oh, I can throw it up in the air. I didn't know I could do that. And then we'll squeeze it. Alright, cool. So those two are working. But, alright, cool. So far, so good. Let me go to
doing
one of the
here?
areas and just explore the environment and test out these other controls. So I'm trying out the share button and the start button, and both of them work, but they're very sticky, which is awesome. And another feature I was a bit worried about was the vibration. Vibration does seem to be working, and you know, if I run around on different surfaces, it feels a bit different. So I'm not having any issues with Astro's Playroom. Controller seems to be good so far. Let's try out Resident Evil Village, since that's what I put the disc in. It just finished installing. Alright, so Resident Evil Village is working. I tried out a few more buttons that I couldn't try on Astro's Playroom, and those do seem to be working. I actually have not played Resident Evil Village in a long time. I played it when it first came out for a few hours, and then just never finished it for whatever reason. So I actually really need to go back and finish this game up. Now, another thing I want to try is playing a PS4 game. I'm not sure if it uses a different laser than the PS5, but let's just try it out just to make sure a PS4 game will work. Alright, so Until Dawn for the PS4 is recognized. It is copying, so that appears to work. PS5 game works. Internet works. You know, I'm signed into my online account. Doesn't seem to be banned or anything, so you know, I think we're all good here. So there is one last thing I want to do here. We're going to open up this PS5, take a look at the insides. Honestly, I might just take the faceplates off and see what it's looking like, but we're going to at least try to get a better idea of what was done with this console, if it's been refurbished, if anything's been fixed, you know, if it's even been opened before. Alright, so it's been a while since I took these plates off, but you lift up one of the corners and then basically slide it. It's pretty easy to do once you find the right corner to lift up. So let's see if I can do this without breaking it. Alright, so I have to lift up on this top left-hand corner and then pull to the right. There it goes. Comes off pretty easily. So taking a look at the faceplate, looks very nice. No pieces are broken, so the faceplate may not have even been taken off before. Just taking a look under here. I don't see, I mean, like, let's take a look at this fan. I don't see, like, any dust at all. So I'm wondering if this console had ever been used. I mean, like, looking at the glossy part, it looks very scratch-free. I don't see any dust in the fans, which normally you would with, like, a little bit of use here, but it's almost dust-free. This screw right here looks like it has not been removed. Let's take apart the other side as well and take a quick glance at it. So on this side, lift up.
We have been travelling across the UK and Ireland to meet our customers and hear how Capital Hair and Beauty supports them to do what they love. With free parking,